Fucking stupid ass shit. Fucking I double clicked the screen so it put that bitch on full screen. I'm so fucking retarded sometimes, dog. Man, I'm sorry, y'all boys. Think of this as a part 2 to the part 1. So yeah. Back to the vid.
Equestria was under attack, plagued by the rampaging spirit of disharmony, whose only goal was to spread chaos and unhappiness throughout the land.
Until the twin princesses of the sun and moon, Celestia and Luna, used the all-powerful elements of harmony to turn him to stone. Kicking the can down the road, I see. Lots of luck!
Yes, because as with seemingly all magical prisons, it didn't last forever. Eventually, this being of madness and destruction broke free, and Discord had returned.
Now I know what you're thinking. Dear Lord, what in good God's name is that thing?
Discord is a Draconicus, or dragon horse, and also deer, goat, snake, lion, eagle, lizard, and a bat.
All part of a complete balanced breakfast. Despite looking like a build-a-bear grab bag, he doesn't seem so bad. Kind of annoying, but in a lovable Mon Capitan kind of way.
There's certainly some truth in that. While initially one of our pony's most potent foes, Discord is not inherently evil, just chaotic.
A big jolly jerk that sets fire to things that can't burn. Just
Bro, my fucking dumbass sent my DoorDash order to my job, bro. What the fuck, dog? God damn, bro. Hold on, bro. I'm so fucking stupid, fam. Like, bro, what the fuck, bro? Hold on, I gotta, hold on, bro. Hold on, my fault, y'all boys.
like me.
It's not like you to find a lot of common ground with My Little Pony. I mean, you're usually like, the only good pony is the horse meat ma sandwich.
That's disgusting, Wiz. Horse meat goes in burritos. But really, having a daughter changes a man. It softens your cold, hard edges. Kinda like with Discord, who became best buddies with the pony Fluttershy, and guest pals with everyone else by default. Fluttershy is best pony.
Discord is chaos incarnate and is empowered by causing as much pandemonium as possible. Likewise, if it betrays his true nature, it can cause his soul to weaken and possibly cause him to fade away entirely.
Not a problem when his powers allow him to mess stuff up as much as he likes. He's a full-on reality warper and plays with the laws of physics like they were silly putty.
Discord can manipulate space by teleporting, reshaping his body, and transmuting matter. He can mess with your mind and erase your memories. He can control time and travel through it. He can even remove mathematical dimensions, turning objects 2D.
He also has instant access to powerful items such as Grogar's Bewitching Bell, which can drain foes of their magic power and transfer it to others.
Phasing, clones, possession, invisibility, the list goes on. He can move the sun and moon and rip apart the fabric of reality. And if his physical body is destroyed, he can keep going as a spirit.
Honestly, it'd be quicker to list off all the things Discord can't do. Starting with, the end.
He can do anything he can think of, even obliterate the fourth wall. He's turned the page of the comic he's on, talked directly to the reader, referenced everything from Bob Ross to Fear and Loathing.
Okay, now my shit straight. Oh my god, that scared the fuck out of me, dog. I was gonna say, oh no. Hey, stop, bro. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Well, you know when you get scared, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like shit in my pants right there, fam. I know TMI, I'm sorry, but like, it was like, dog, what the fuck, bro? I thought this shit got sent in my work, bitch. I was gonna say, man, it's gonna get me pissed off. But no, man, it's cool now. Back to it.
In Las Vegas, and even changed the very genre of the story he's in.
Oh, my boomstick sense is tickling. I've matured enough to appreciate the cupcakes and rainbows, Wiz. But there's no amount of character development that will ever make me ready for another Deadpool. Ah, damn it.
Oh, please. Any similarity is down to your line producer refusing to greenlight complex animation. I should be just as insulted by your attempt to force me.
I'm sorry for pausing and playing, but I remember when My Little Pony used to be on this one show, like, I don't know what show it was for y'all, but 130. I forgot what the fuck the show was called, but the channel was called, but it had like horror on that shit too, and I don't know, but it was 130. And I was like, bro, like I hated when this show came on, but this shit was so boring. This and fucking Strawberry Shortcake, dog. I'm sitting there as a kid waiting for the good shows to come on, and this lame ass show just pops up. But whatever, bro. I don't know shit about this character, not a damn thing. I guess he's somewhat like Bill, but not really. I don't fucking know. Let's keep going back to the vid. Back to the vid.
Dreary fisticuffs. But when it comes to my geometric rival, I'm not about to be upstaged.
Well, I find it fascinating that you seem to draw energy from disharmony. I'd love to study how it played a part in freeing you from internal imprisonment and even substantiating your very essence.
Well, if all you want is to experience substantiation...
What the? Ah! God, no! No! Well, I'm never recovering from that emotionally.
I don't think anybody could.
Oh, look! Blissful ignorance at the bottom of this can!
With Discord's powers, Pinkie Pie could have turned the entire universe into icing. What that meant for the laws of physics is anyone's guess.
He's basically at the top of the pony power hierarchy, even compared to the alternate reality threat, the Pony of Shadows, who could overrun all existence in the multiverse given enough time, or his ex-partner Cosmos, literally malice incarnate with identical powers, whom he sealed away in the stars.
Discord once flew from the Horsehead Nebula to Equestria, and kept accelerating so much he went backwards in time.
Now it's just him trying to make it to tea time with his bestie.
But Discord's power may be his greatest weakness. Since almost nothing can threaten him, his carefree attitude can leave him vulnerable to being caught off guard. Like when T-Rex, the magic-devouring demon centaur, tricked Discord and stole his powers.
Even still, Discord has shed his villainous past and been made an honorary hero, happy to help out his pony pals from time to time. Or occasionally make things worse.
That's what you get when you're best friends with the spirit of chaos incarnate. I would know.
Oh, buddy, get over here.
Yeah, that's...
He's Loki a chimera.
No, not the noogie.
No, he definitely is.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Have you ever been up late at
Too much talking, man. Let's get to the fighting, man. Fuck, I put this shit on the dumbass.
Life is to
Get to the fighting, man. Like, why is it still... Bro, what the fuck, bro? My nigga, like, hold on. Yo, hide chat fucking replay.
sessions.
Get to the fucking vid, nigga.
It's our set. We've run the...
Ah, damn, annoying ass shit. Ain't about the vid.
Boy, pasting all this bootleg merchandise together sure took a lot of glue. Good thing your friends make their own.
Friends of a friend. Ah, but there's an idea. Dear Princess Celestia, today Bill Cipher learned an important lesson about friendship.
Ah, gag! Ow, my eye!
I'm the undisputed Lord of Kings. There's no room for you. All your chosen land. You got a stupid hat. And frankly, in the middle of
Enjoy your just desserts!
let's pick it to you, Bill. See which of us has the
What are you doing, man? Come on!
A tad Euclidean for my taste.
Tell Jean-Luc his show sports the code of honor!
You are not qualified to work with a fourth wall. stalemate is getting dull. How about a different game?
Sure, I love checkers. Go fish! You're messing with my mind? Oh, this is my shtick, you hack!
We may be evenly matched, Bill, but I've seen your show, my two-dimensional nuisance. And I know how you die.
Oh, you think we're equals? That you're safe in here, you low-effort clown? I'm an all-seeing God!
Well, it was worth a try. But still, I'm surprised you don't recognize your old home.
No. No! No. No! No, 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 no!
Oh, Bill.
Ah, no big deal. I've done this once already. Make a deal!
Fuck no, that's funny as fuck. Nigga said, he looked at me and said, "What a nigga deal?" Yo, man, W fucking fight. The manipulator got out manipulated. Nigga, bro, you fucked up. You try to fuck with me. You fight that boy, the unicorn nigga, did Discord, whatever the fuck. Said, you try to fuck with me, bet that up. I'm gonna alter your perception of reality since you're the quote unquote master of perception. It's over, bitch. You will now remain in this fucking random ass dimension. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, W fight, bro. On some real ass shit. 10 out of 10 watch again. Like y'all boys, take them boys out of death battle, man. Them boys got some fire ass shit on some real shit, man. On some real. On some real. On some real. And watch Gravity Falls too. W so it's 4 seasons, fucking worth it. Like every time. I'm gonna worth watch it. Some real shit. And on to the next vid. Oh, my thing, they ain't playing first. So let me just go back to YouTube. Yeah. Hi, I'm just stupid. Let me stop, bro. Let me scroll. Bro, imagine if I did imagine if I tried to do from, I ain't gonna lie, I could never do SEAL Team 6. I would like to do it, but I just fucking doubt it on some shit. We can watch these or these. We can watch these later. Like, probably when I get back to the crib. But I will watch some Scooby-Doo Crazy Idea.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Shady Rays. Scooby-Doo, the miraculous mutt from Mystery Incorporated.
What the fuck? What's y'all boys know about that Scooby-Doo, man? W Scooby-Doo, man. And W Course of Cali Dog, bro. I grew up off both of these niggas, bro. Like, one of the best shows, 2 of the best shows ever, I swear to God. And back to the vid.
Courage! The cowardly dog straight out of nowhere.
Canis familiaris, man's best friend, the dog. No animal companion has stood by humanity's side as long or as loyally.
Even, and maybe especially, these 2 yellow-bellied, lily-livered scaredy cats. Or dogs. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Throughout the ages, countless philosophers have posited the same question time and time again.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
Pretty much everywhere. From cartoons to comics, from video games to board games, from live theater
To the most incredible major motion picture of all time, he's the greatest Dane since Hamlet.
But his monumental presence in popular culture belies his humble origins. Born to Momsy and Dada Doo in Dewsville, USA.
Dewsville ain't what it used to be ever since they moved all those manufacturing jobs to Bangladesh.
The young Scoobert was adopted by the Rogers family and their prodigal gluttonous son, Norville, better known by his friends as Shaggy.
Those friends being Velma Dinkley, Daphne Blake, Fred Jones, and sometimes...
With their powers combined, they are Mystery Incorporated, a cadre of snot-nosed teenagers traveling the Nixon-era United States in a cushed-up Volkswagen, foiling seemingly paranormal crimes and unmasking corrupt authority figures.
All of whom definitely would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those meddling kids and their dog.
Scooby is indispensable in Mystery Inc. investigations. Great Danes were bred by 17th century German nobility to hunt bear, boar, and deer, which means he's a master tracker. Scooby's super sniffer knows he can root out the bad guys no matter how well hidden.
They were called Kamerhunda, or chamber dogs, because they stay in their prince's chambers and protect them from assassins. Brave, fearless doggos.
Too bad for Shaggy and the gang, the apple didn't just fall far from the tree, it defied the laws of Newtonian physics and rocketed into space at the speed of light, because Scooby is an absolute coward.
He's terrified of his own shadow and...
Oh no, he's definitely a bitch. Sometimes. But that bitch quote, most deaf real. And back to the video.
anxious about everything imaginable, and his only motivation is his delicious Scooby snacks.
Which makes it so baffling.
Bro, keep it a bean, bro. Who didn't used to like fiend for Scooby snacks? I know they were meant for dogs and shit, but bro, we seen Shaggy and Scooby both eat them bitches. But be real, who didn't want to try Scooby snacks? Come on, man.
That he's actually kind of a badass.
Scooby's a master of the dupe, a classic technique of cartoon tricksters.
Sometimes called the power of positive assertion. Scooby flexes his mastery of disguise to fool would-be attackers, like seducing zombies as a belly dancer, or tricking a jester into entering an existential crisis.
This man was so thoroughly convinced to rethink his entire life, he went all the way home and got into bed before realizing he'd been fooled.
Obviously, these disguises shouldn't work at all, but Scooby's just so supernaturally talented, they just do. See, this is a perfect example. No one in their right mind would think that that's anyone but Boomstick in an awful wig and makeup.
That's my mom.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. If those disguises sound completely impossible, that's because they are. You might have thought of the Scooby-Doo series as being pretty grounded with all its men in masks, but then one day, the mask did not come off.
That's right, it's Terror Time again! The monsters started being real, and Scooby became just as bonkers to match. Like, remember those Scooby snacks? They started to give him a physical boost in strength, kind of like Popeye's spinach.
That's nothing. Shaggy's brilliant uncle, Albert Shackelford, upgraded those snacks with nanite technology, giving them a variety of different effects. Everything from invisibility, robotic armor, force field, super intelligence, and Panther!
Yeah, nanomachines, dog! And we're just getting started. He can stretch and squash his body any way he likes, even duplicating himself or regenerating from damage.
Like being chopped into pieces, crumbling into dust, or just blowing up.
His soul was literally scared out of his body, and both his body and soul kept going at the same time. That doesn't make sense.
He can appear in multiple places at once, ignore the laws of gravity, rewind time with his time scepter or super speed, draw things into existence, and mess with the plot of his own show.
Things getting a little too spooky for him? He'll just cut to commercial break.
He's also got weapons like the Super Spooker 3000, a gun that instills fear into the hearts of man.
And no, not like an actual gun, it literally shoots fear.
Or the Chest of Demons, an ark containing 13 monstrous ghosts.
Ghosts!
Should you be trapped within its grasp, your body and soul will be imprisoned in everlasting torment in this heretofore undiscovered 10th circle of hell.
Neat! Scooby-Doo has dodged laser beams and electromagnetic waves, survived being at the epicenter of an explosion that blew up time, and successfully performed the Zabriskie Triangle with Shaggy and Maddie Ziegler.
The Zabriskie Triangle is a dance so unbelievably dangerous that even imperfect executions have caused widespread destruction.
When performed perfectly, it was so beautiful it literally lit up the entire universe and blew up the enormous snow globe containing it. It makes sense if you watch the show. Actually, No, it doesn't.
Taking this literally, we can measure the volume of the broken glass compared to the size of our entire cosmos within it. In order to shatter what is essentially an enormous glass superstructure, each dancer would have to be generating enough energy to destroy our universe 11 quintillion times over.
That's right. Maddie Ziegler is the Universe Buster.
With Scooby-Doo as their nigh omnipotent mascot, Mystery Incorporated has saved the world from alien invasions, wielded the power of a yellow lantern ring, and was even made a member of the Mystery Analysts of Gotham by Batman himself.
Yes, Batman, the world's greatest detective, recognizes Scooby's skills.
Even facing down and defeating the evil entity, an eldritch dark god, and surviving its death, which rewrote all of reality. Yeah, you know, the talking dog that crossed over with the Harlem Globetrotters and Don Knotts defeated Satan. No biggie.
So, where is Scooby-Doo? He's solving mysteries and saving the world with his found family.
Also, he's an alien.
Wait, what? We interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere with her husband, Eustace Bagg.
But creepy stuff happens in nowhere.
It's up to Courage to save his new home.
I'm gonna be real, bro. Scooby-Doo has some scary ass moments. Like I'm not even like I'm dead ass. But Courage, yo, this show was scary at times, bro. Even if you didn't know what was going on, or like you just like watching it type shit, you seen the fucking creatures or whatever the fuck them niggas was, and you just like, damn, what the fuck? Like, what is this, man? Like, this shit got you like, let's say you in a room, that bitch was dark, you got your little snacks or whatever, bro. That shit was like, what the fuck, bro? On some real.
Stupid Wiz, you make me look bad. Ooga booga booga!
You're breathing on me. Get away.
Sorry. But who wouldn't be excited for one of animation's mightiest mutts?
Courage is an adorable pink beagle with a heart of gold and an undying love for his doting Scottish mistress.
Beagles are hare hunters with intense separation anxiety, excellent senses of smell, and a set of lungs that'll knock your socks off. All of which fits Courage to a T, especially the howling part.
To be fair, Courage has a lot to howl about. Nowhere USA is a magnet for interdimensional weirdness, attracting some of the strangest freaks in the world.
Like master criminals, cats, and LaQuack, mattress demons, mummies, weremoles, mad scientists, gods and goddesses, aliens, robots, alien robots, this chicken, the king of flan, and of course, the United States government.
And poor Courage is absolutely terrified of all of it. But his devotion to Muriel means he'll always step up and fight the good fight.
Good thing he's kind of a genius. He's a brilliant engineer capable of whipping up the most devious of traps almost instantly. And he's got an unending supply of tools at his disposal.
Everything from his trusty mallet to grappling hooks, ray guns, flamethrowers, chainsaws, bombs, beagle-sized cannons, yo-yos, a mind control helmet, vampire hunting gear, and the God Bone.
An ancient artifact that is completely irresistible to any mortal dog, forcing them to lick it until they die.
Except for Courage, of course. I guess if you have the willpower to stare down a gigantic purple foot mobster, you can resist even the most delicious of treats.
And he can pull all of this stuff out of his ass anytime he wants. He always has.
This nigga was licking the toes, bruh. Oh, I remember that episode, but Courage, what the fuck? What are we doing, bro? Looking crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Licking toes is crazy, bro.
That's exactly what he needs.
All thanks to his computer named Computer. A sentient desktop which knows almost anything and everything, even if he has a bit of an attitude about it.
Which means he's always prepared, especially when he can shapeshift his body into literally anything he can think of.
From inanimate objects to monsters to different animation mediums entirely. Courage usually uses this as a charades to communicate with others, but don't get it twisted. These aren't just visual animation gags. His body is actually shapeshifting.
Courage's body is a canvas upon which his imagination runs wild. He can stretch to crazy lengths, shrink to microscopic sizes, turn invisible, appear anywhere he wants or duplicate himself.
He's also effectively immune to damage. Oh, he still feels pain, but apparently his sheer terror overrides it.
Like the times he tore himself in half or turned himself fully inside out. The dude somehow vaporized his entire body completely without even ash remaining, and he just popped back good as new.
Classic cartoon shenanigans, but technically anatomically correct. Until it isn't. Courage can create objects from his imagination and often breaks the fourth wall, directly addressing the audience.
Now, you would think being an impossible-to-kill force of nature would boost his confidence a bit, but isn't that what anxiety does to you? It undermines your sense of self-worth and magnifies the problems around you.
Sure, but Courage is also fighting gods just as powerful as himself. Like this enormous alien which could spike meteors so hard it spun the Earth 1,000 years into the future. That's crazy.
Then Courage got shot out of a cannon that punched him through the moon, only to get slapped by that same alien and sent crashing back to the planet. And he was fine.
Courage is strong enough to physically patch up holes in the ozone layer, hold stars in his hands, and scream so loud he shattered the sun.
A scream like that would be like getting hit with over 100 septillion hydrogen bombs all at once, which is, you know, a lot.
And keep in mind, the sound waves of his scream would have had to travel.
Hold on, y'all boys. I'm gonna get my food real quick. Give me a second. Bruh, I ain't gonna lie. Don't y'all just hate it when some random ass bullshit just gets in your eye, bro? Like, that shit is annoying as fuck, dog. I'm being so dead ass. Boys, give me right with the queso. Thank you. I'm in love with the queso. Alright, first Shuski. Hold on, I'm resuming the vid. My fault, y'all boys.
Travel through the near vacuum of space. Basically a complete scientific impossibility.
Next time you replace my beers in the fridge with LaCroix, I'm getting my boy Jack Spaniels to blow up the sun. You've been warned.
That's not all. One time he operated a Peloton controlling a UFO and pedaled it fast enough to fly past Saturn, enter hyperspace, and cross the Milky Way galaxy.
Though Courage's greatest challenge came from inside his very home. A monster who tortures his poor pooch every single day. A depraved, psychotic motherfucker. The true Prince of Darkness. The greatest villain in cartoon history. Eustace!
He even collected all of Courage's greatest foes like a Legion of Doom, all to mercilessly beat Courage to a pulp in a game of dodgeball.
It gives all rednecks a bad name, Wiz. I want to end him. Low.
Okay, well, Courage's accumulated PTSD always held him back until he met a kindred spirit, another cowardly monster hunting hound, Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Together, they discover the source of Nowhere's weirdness, a dark matter meteor that controlled reality itself.
Originally the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, its dark matter can rewrite the laws of physics, control minds, and turn Courage into a giant kaiju.
Taking the meteor for himself, Courage finally faced his fears, defeating this cicada queen goddess thing and saving his family once and for all. Yes, even Eustace.
Shit!
So let that be a lesson to any who would encroach upon the bag's humble farm. It has a protector.
He may be small and he may be scared, but standing up to our fears is what makes us brave in the first place. That's why his name is Courage.
This episode of Death Battle sponsored by Shady.
Bro, I'm surprised niggas was still talking. I ain't gonna lie. I just came back to go get my plate and shit. God damn, bitch. I certified him. You know who we like, man. Back to the video.
Muriel! Maggie? Maggie?
Maggie? Muriel! Muriel! That's funny, man.
What do I do? Robert's got it! Robert's got it! Come on, come on!
Oh, there's one more thing.
Yeah, big boy.
How to defeat a Great Dane with a speech impediment, eh? You twit.
It burns!
All dogs love their bones, don't they?
This could be bad. My name isn't Chad James. And it's not.
Stupid dogs! You made me look bad! What's her? Ow! 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 Cut it out!
Well, Muriel, I hate that stupid dog!
KO!
Wait, what?
I said the same shit because nobody lost or won. I mean, when you opened the boss, I thought I saw, okay, if it took you Eustace or whatever, alright. But instead of taking Courage too, 'cause I thought it was just taking niggas from like his universe, so he's included. You feel me? But, nigga, I'm gonna call this bitch a tie. W vid. W vid. I'm be real. I'm just hyped now. I ain't gonna lie. I just.
If your daughter
Oh, and again, y'all boys, check out Nerd Explains. I've been watching, bro, since I believe 2020 or 2021. W horror movie, the explainer, shit like that, and explainer of anything else, bro. W's like he this guy, like I recommend, bro. 10 out of 10. I will if I could, I'd restart all over and watch his videos all over again, cause like this nigga's entertaining as fuck. I'm being so real. He's really entertaining. But check him out, man. No, that's a bit, that's a bit, that's a bit, that's a bit.
and her friend became possessed by a foul-mouthed demonic entity, what would you do? Just when you thought it was safe to go summoning spirits from another plane of existence, it turns out not so much. Now, 2 young lives hang in the balance as their families and community members frantically seek to reverse their descent into depravity. And while our heroes might have the benefit of experience on their side, the demons got a new trick up its sleeve none of them will ever see coming. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the double demon in The Exorcist Believer. Angela is a good egg, something for which her single father, Victor, is eternally grateful. You see, unlike many youths her age, she's not one to blow off chores, ditch class, or break curfew, and the extent of her bad behaviors seems to be limited to embracing the socially tolerated eating disorder known as vegetarianism. Knowing all this, it's no surprise that Victor is quick to sound the alarm at the realization she never came home from studying with her friend Catherine. Worse yet is the fact that her phone is off. It turns out Catherine's parents were apparently fed some BS about the girls studying with yet another friend, which of course they were not. And just when you think things couldn't possibly get any worse, well, you should probably slap yourself because things can always get worse. Case in point, this other friend claims she last saw Catherine and Angela walking out into the woods next to a local tent city. I know. See, this is what happens when you fail to sufficiently traumatize your offspring through a combination of folklore, after-school specials, and evening news broadcasts. Once again, horrible parenting out there causing all the world's problems. Oh, but my child needs to learn their own lessons about making horrible life-altering mistakes. They need to find out for themselves why you don't climb into the tiger cage at the zoo, or into the back of a stranger's van, or crawl into a half-flooded old drainage tunnel out in the middle of a forest full of drink-addicted hobos. Where they went, by the way, which thankfully their parents are able to figure out after a brief stroll through the woods. Unfortunately, it was only because they found the girl's shoes floating in the slop, but I guess it beats finding a dead body. Obviously, the best thing to do right now would be to get the cops involved as quickly as possible, if nothing else but to ensure that they establish a proper timeline. This, of course, is what the parents do, because they're all smart enough to know that whole myth about having to wait 24 or 48 or 72 hours before reporting a missing person is just that, a myth. Chances are, after 24 hours, they're probably dead. Yes, once again, I'm forced to climb up on my soapbox about this issue because idiots in media have been working overtime throughout the decades making people believe this garbage. Don't listen to anyone who tells you different. Listen to me. Trust me, I'm a YouTuber. You should always file a missing persons report the second you have any reason to believe someone has vanished under suspicious circumstances, which Catherine and Angela most definitely have. Sure, it'd be one thing if they were a pair of rowdy teenagers.
I'm gonna be right back, y'all boys. Alright, y'all boys, I'm back. I ain't gonna lie, that burrito was hitting though, man. That's some real shit. It was carne inside, it was steak, cheese, and some side of queso. That bitch was hitting, I'm be real. I got another one too, man. I'm gonna eat that shit when I slide back. When I slide back from moving that with y'all boys this after this late at night. Well, I said night already, so yeah. That's it.
Who routinely ran off in pursuit of ragers or whatever. But in this case, we have two level-headed kids with no known problems at home who were last seen entering a pretty sketchy area. The more time that goes by without finding them, the greater the likelihood we'll never find them at all. Alive, that is. Once word of the disappearance gets out, both the police and the community spring into action. Search parties with cadaver dogs scour the woods, candlelight vigils form, and the local news begins airing of the situation to drive up awareness. Meanwhile, the girls' families plaster the surrounding neighborhoods with missing posters, and Victor even makes a trip down to the local soup kitchen to interview some vagrants. It goes about as well as you might expect, and it seems they aren't the only ones in the neighborhood who aren't being helpful, as evidenced by Victor coming home to find his front door hanging open. Here we have yet another example of why you always stay strapped, especially in a constitutional carry state like Georgia. It's not always about the dangers you might face out in the wasteland. Sometimes you gotta worry about what you're coming home to. That being said, I'd never recommend someone clear their own house unless they know their loved ones are in danger. Otherwise, leave that to a public servant or private security if you've got the cash. Naturally, there's probably a part of Victor that thinks this might be Angela having come home on her own, and that's totally understandable given the circumstances. But once he called out to the sound of movement and got no response, I would definitely think my decision to carry on without a weapon. Fortunately for our hero, this isn't that kind of home invasion.
Hey, Victor. Oh, good, you're home.
Yes, so I can murder you. Seriously, dude, are you trying to get shot? Coming in uninvited is one thing, but why in the hell would you leave the front door open like you just finished robbing the place? Not only that, but what's with Stewart's ridiculous lack of communication here? Are you telling me he couldn't have texted Victor to let him know he was coming by with a bunch of voodoo people later? Or was scaring the crap out of him part of the ritual? Either way, it's probably not going to work, because the grieving father's clearly not in the mood for company right now, regardless of their helpful intentions. The good news is it won't have to, as the very next day, Angela and Catherine are found huddled together in a barn, 30 miles from where they found the shoes. And it only gets weirder from there. Despite having been missing for 3 days at this point, both girls seem to believe they've only been gone for a couple of hours. Absolutely no recollection of how they got out to the farm. Sounds like some straight up missing 411 if you ask me. Ultimately, a series of rigorous medical examinations reveal no sign of foul play or serious injuries. That is, unless you count the fact that both girls' feet are absolutely destroyed. Like, I get they supposedly walked barefoot through the woods for 3 days straight, but it looks more like they got napalmed or something. Jesus. Whatever the case, it's apparently not enough to keep them overnight, resulting in both girls being sent back home with their families. And while that might be the right call from a physical health point of view, it'd still probably be a good idea to get them in front of psychologists as quickly as possible. Like one of the doctors mentioned back in the hospital, traumatic events can trigger bouts of retrograde amnesia, and even though neither of them wound up getting hurt, that doesn't mean they didn't go through some serious after falling off the face of the earth. I mean, what if somebody abducted them at gunpoint and tortured them in other ways? If so, that's probably something both the families and law enforcement would want to find out, and it would certainly explain how they wound up in the middle of nowhere. And even if they never managed to resurrect the repressed memories of what really went down, some quality time with a head shrinker might help them cope with all the lingering what ifs as they try to move on. Oh, yeah, there's also the fact that both of began acting extremely strange after coming back home. And yes, I understand they've been through a lot in the last couple days, but between the vacant expressions, bouts of confusion, and unprovoked aggression, my first thought would be that whatever caused them to wander off like that might still be screwing with their heads, especially after seeing something like this.
What'd you say? I heard you say something.
Spoiler.
Hey man, nobody said a motherfucking thing. All I know is this. Whoever the fuck you are, back the fuck up, cause ain't no way in fuck you got that close to me without me hearing you. You're not a you ain't just silent. You're not caviar. You ain't silent step. You're not a cat. You didn't just start fucking walking with no sound, bro. Back the fuck up, sweetheart. I don't know who you are, man. They might scare figure man. Some real shit.
Alert, no she didn't. Sure, it might be way too soon to conclude that she's been possessed by a demon from hell, but hearing voices is never a good sign. Honestly, that'd probably be enough for me to drag her back to the hospital in case they overlooked some kind of head injury during the examination. It's certainly not impossible, and given how little we know at this point, you really can't be too careful. As for Victor, he decides that all his daughter needs is a good night's sleep and dessert for breakfast to bring her back to normal. But her condition only appears to worsen as time goes on. Not only has Angela wet the bed, she's become unable, or at the very least, unwilling to communicate, to which her father responds by shutting her in the bathroom with the water running and hoping for the best. For real though, dude, laundry can wait. If she's really as messed up as she looks, leaving her alone in a tile room full of skull crushers is definitely not the move. Statistically speaking, it's the most dangerous room in your house, and that's without being loopier than a bowl of Cheerios. Eventually, this realization sinks in, but when he finally comes back to check on her, Angela is nowhere to be found. Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say it probably has something to do with all that gravy coming out of the faucet. Fortunately, it seems she didn't get
Nigga said gravy.
far. Guess she doesn't like pancakes. All I can say is that it's a good thing Angela hit the deck all on her own, because there is no way in anyone would believe us if we had to choke her out ourselves. Even still, I'm surprised Victor didn't end up chatting with the cops anyway, as by the time they make it to the hospital, Angela looks about 10 times worse than she did the day before. Then again, the fact that they had to sedate her to stop her from flipping the out probably lent him some credibility. Either way, what's far more alarming are her newly acquired injuries, nails falling off, lacerations all over her stomach. None of this was present when they found her. So what the heck happened, right? Barring some kind of intruder, the only logical explanation is that she did this to herself. And given what just went down, I'd say that's likely the case. All the more reason to get her and her friend in for a psych eval ASAP. Now, come to think of it, I wonder how Catherine's doing right now. Not good. Once again, the girl's parents find themselves sitting helplessly at the hospital, wondering what on earth could have happened to their kid. Although, if you ask Catherine's mom, the explanation lies outside of this world entirely, the way she sees it. Neither of the girls having been baptized left them vulnerable to corruption by evil spirits, which Victor immediately dismisses as utter nonsense. Yeah, you know, yesterday I probably would have agreed with you, man, but in light of recent circumstances, I'd say there's a chance she might be onto something. Not to mention that Angela told him she and Catherine originally went to the forest to conduct a seance and communicate with her late mother. Still, you can't expect someone outside that entire belief system to accept something as off the wall as demonic possession without substantial evidence backing it up. And right now, Victor is far too concerned with the prospects of locking his daughter up in a psych ward to consider the supernatural. However, just as he's about to slam the door on that possibility entirely, his next door neighbor, Nurse Anne, brings him around with a first-hand account of Angela's recent behavior.
Mr. Mary Savior scraped out she was like a rotten pumpkin.
Well, I'm sold. Seriously, she should have whipped out her phone and started recording the second she heard that voice. That'd probably do the trick. However, even more distressing than the manner in which Angela was speaking was what she was saying. According to Anne, she called her sister Mary Xavier, which would have been Anne's novitiate name had she gone through with becoming a nun many years ago. Angela would then go on to mention Anne's terminated pregnancy from around the same time, which, along with her nunification name, no one else in town could possibly have known about. Ultimately, the unsettling report isn't enough to convince Victor outright, but it is is enough for him to accept a book on the subject of possession, written by none other than Chris McNeil herself. Now, if you don't know who that is, well, maybe count yourself lucky, because this movie's about to do her character dirty here in a few minutes. In short, she's the mother of Regan McNeil, the demon-possessed girl from back in the original Exorcist. Evidently, following her daughter's exorcism, Chris traveled the world, learning everything she possibly.
I ain't trying to be mean, but I'm surprised she's still alive after so fucking long. On some real shit, bro. I ain't trying to be that nigga, but damn. Cause usually niggas, but I mean, when was the Exorcist? When did the Exorcist even come out? Well, hold on. Let me just. Man, when did that shit come out? Hold on. December 1970s. That's a long, long time ago, man. She had to be in her 20s or some shit. Cause damn. All right.
Possibly could about demonic possession from a variety of different cultures and faiths. As a result, she's become one of the world's foremost experts on the subject, although she herself admits she's not actually an exorcist. Regardless, Victor believes her experience might very well be the key to curing Angela's affliction, and after a brief research montage, he and his friends managed to arrange a meeting with Chris out at her seaside estate. Given the situation, it makes sense that Super Dad would want to explore all his options, and I think his decision to discuss the matter with Chris is certainly a good one. That being said, if he really believes that possession might really be the issue here, he should get the ball rolling with some actual exorcists, as it's not exactly something you can have done on short notice. According to an interview with trained exorcist Father Vincent Lampert, at least in the Catholic tradition, there's no such thing as an emergency exorcism. He claims that the church will only sanction an exorcism once the subject has undergone thorough medical and psychological evaluations to ensure the source of their suffering has no physical or mental cause. Furthermore, there's no way of knowing how long the process could take. It could be anywhere from minutes to months based on various accounts, so we probably shouldn't waste any time. Now, while there's many religious groups that practice exorcism for simplicity's sake, we should probably stick with Catholicism. After all, it was two Catholic priests who successfully carried out Regan's exorcism, albeit with some collateral damage. Luckily, we have Nurse Ann.
Throw his ass out of there real quick. God damn, man.
Things in with the local priest while our hero's on his road trip. Speaking of which, eventually Chris stops monologuing long enough for Victor to explain the situation, and after seeing photos depicting wounds similar to the ones her own daughter had, she agrees to help. Only problem is, Chris never actually witnessed any part of Regan's exorcism, just the before and after effects, so I'm not exactly sure what Victor's expecting here, especially considering he outright stated he wants to do for his daughter exactly what she did for hers. In that case, he's looking for a standard Catholic exorcism, which, okay, you know what? Let's just not think about. Anyway, Team Angela reconvenes at the mental hospital to give Chris a chance to examine her condition up close. As for Catherine, her parents decided to take care of her at home.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, gonna have to agree. Catherine's folks were the first ones to even bring up the possibility of possession, and they're treating this like she has the flu. Then again, maybe Victor left out the part about how his teenage daughter heaved him across the room like a garbage bag. Even so, you'd think that they'd want to minimize the contact their non-possessed family members had with the demonic entity. Whatever the case, Victor and company aren't about to let their commiserates find out the hard way just how stupid that was. But by the time they arrive at their house, it seems it's all already too late. The pair finds the girl's father, Tony, nearly catatonic, and his wife, Miranda, isn't doing all that much better. Although, at least she had the clarity to round up their children and hunker down somewhere. My only question is, how long have they been hiding in the dark like this? You're telling me at no point after Catherine went full demonic did they think to maybe call in backup or something? You gotta believe their church pastor would be willing to investigate reports of an honest-to-God demon living amongst his flock. Oh well, none of that matters now because Chris is here to bore the demonic back to hell with her special I know everything powers. Except, wait, what was that she said in her interview from back in the day?
Well, for starters, I'm not an exorcist. I leave that to the professionals.
Right, yeah. On second thought, this seems like a terrible idea. I mean, Chris, of all people, should know from experience just how dangerous it is to be alone with someone who's possessed. Fact is, even experienced exorcists work in teams of 2 or more, and even then, it's nowhere near a slam dunk. Besides, there's still about another 35 minutes left of this show, so I can pretty much guarantee this is not going to end well. See, what'd I tell ya? The only good news is that it didn't gouge out her tongue too, so she can still spout more generic, inspirational tripe about how religion is all about people believing in each other. And since people perform exorcisms, and they're all people, they can perform exorcisms too. Yeah, only that didn't go super well for you, now did it? Well, whatever. The point is that it inspires Victor to round up as many holy figures as the film's budget can support, and bring their combined religious might down on the demon like Haas Cartwright on a bedbug. It's basically the Avengers of faith healing. To that end, he rounds up Nurse Ann and her priest, Father Maddox, pastor Revens of Tony and Miranda's church, Victor's neighbor, Stuart, who happens to be Pentecostal, and Dr. Beehive, who Stuart brought in to bless the house back towards the beginning. Now, you're probably noticing there's a few of the world's other religions missing from this screw party, namely, most of them. But it's what we got, so I guess we'll have to make do. That being said, how can we even be sure mixing and matching faiths like this will offer us any benefit? In fact, it could even hold us back, as the rites and rituals of one group might directly interfere with or contradict that of another. See, this may come as a shock to some of you out there, but it turns out belief systems from different parts of the world have trouble getting along sometimes. Even
You know why I think it would work? Because because one thing I hear, I'm sorry, one thing I've seen in a lot of these shits is if you actually believe type shit, then I don't know if humans have the power to, but if you believe, then if you have a strong belief, like if you actually believe, then it will work in their time of need, especially up against like some like shit like this, you know? But the whole interference shit, I low-key thought about that when I was a kid, but I just kind of like strayed away from it because, you know, it was just like, oh, and it just moved on, and that's it. All right, back to the
the same part of the world. All this is to say, we might consider running through each religion's exorcism process one at a time. I mean, it's not like the demon gave us a deadline to work against, and even if it did, why would we trust it? At the very least, we could try hitting it in shifts of some kind, or even splitting the girls up and trying a different approach on either one. Which brings me to my next question. Why are we exorcising both of them at the same time? I guess the idea is that they're somehow possessed by the same demon, but how could we possibly know if that's really the case? In fact, that might be exactly what they want us to think. After all, it was hard enough for Father Marin and Father Karras when there was just the one. Two might very well be impossible, especially if they manage to break free from their restraints. And just to crank up the difficulty even more, right before showtime, we come to find out that the church has forbidden Father Maddox from participating in the exorcism, instead suggesting the girls undergo psychiatric treatment first. In reality, the diocese are worried about the potential for backlash should one or both of the girls perish during the ritual. As Father Maddox goes on to explain, exorcisms can be extremely dangerous procedures that have been known to kill on both ends, and he simply can't be part of this knowing the clergy won't have his back should something go horribly wrong. However, that doesn't mean he's entirely unwilling to help.
Hold on tight. You keep your distance from them.
Oh yeah, it's super dangerous and people die from it. But here, knock yourself out. Gee, thanks, Padre. Well, that's just great. Not only was the dude not even a trained exorcist to begin with, he somehow found a way to pass the buck to someone even less qualified than him. Just because Anne almost became a nun decades ago doesn't mean she has any idea what she's doing here. That's like sending someone into a hostage situation because they almost became a meter maid or something. As a matter of fact, has even a single one of the super best friends they've assembled ever even witnessed an exorcism before? Has anyone even asked that question yet? I mean, god damn it, I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Once again, we have no reason to believe this thing has to be done tonight. In that case, I think the best thing we can do right now is keep the girls restrained and hooked up to IV fluids while we compile enough video evidence of their possession to effectively force the Catholic Church to hook us up with the SEAL Team 6 of exorcists. This is the internet age, after all. Side note, thank God neither of the girls were given access to social media after being possessed. TikTok is bad enough without those two monstrosities on there shilling mental illness. Then again, no one would probably notice. At any rate, seems Victor's really tired of having all these people crowding up his living room, so I guess we're doing this. However, before all the screaming starts, I have just a couple more nitpicks to get off my chest. First of all, I realize it's all hands on deck right now, but perhaps it's not such a great idea to have the girls' parents involved. Exorcisms like the one performed on Regan McNeil aren't pretty, and it's entirely possible one of them might interfere if it looks like their child's being harmed in some way. Because of that, it's entirely possible the demon might try to play up the girls' apparent anguish in an attempt to manipulate them. Also, it probably couldn't hurt to take some extra precautions in case one of them really does get hurt. You know, worse. It's a little late now, but we should have arranged to have an ambulance waiting on committed standby just in case. Should also probably be thinking about our own safety as well. A little PPE goes a long way, especially with regards to eye protection. Chris? Alright, thinking time is over. Let's get down to business. We kick things off with a scripture reading by Nurse Anne, and while I'm probably the last person that should be giving notes on this kind of thing, from what I found online, readings like this are performed during Catholic exorcisms to force the demon to reveal itself. Yeah, I'd say that's already been taken care of. Instead, we should be focusing on issuing commands and demanding the demon's name, the latter of which being an ultimate sign of submission to God and a sign the process is nearly over. Eventually, this gives way to everyone shouting over one another with little to no effect on target. Sure, there's a lot of spitting and cursing and gnashing of teeth and whatever the hell this is. But at no point do they seem any closer towards their goal of removing the demon. In fact, it honestly seems like this thing's just screwing with them the whole time. And after exhausting several different rituals from their various belief systems, the demon kicks things up a notch by issuing a command of its own, citing the way in which Victor was forced to choose between his wife and the, at the time, unborn Angela during the earthquake that ultimately claimed the former's life. The demon demands that the exorcist choose between saving Catherine and saving Angela, with the implication that both of them will die if they do nothing. So, yeah, I say we just ignore it. After all, demons are frequently portrayed as deceivers, no matter who you're asking. So why would we take this thing's word for anything? Furthermore, we already know it's a trick from the get-go. As it turns out, Victor chose to save his wife, but fate intervened and spared his daughter instead. The way I see it, the fact they brought this up means whoever we chose to save will be the one that dies. Or maybe it just said that to f with our heads. Who knows? The good news is we won't have to find out, as just when it seems like they have no other choice but to play the demon's game, the gang is blessed by a surprise visit from none other than the runaway priest himself. That's right, Father Maddox is back, and he's called in backup in the form of a loose cannon clergyman who doesn't play by the rules, the legendary Father John. There hasn't been an evil spirit yet this guy couldn't send back to hell on a bullet. Oh, and about that whole vow of chastity thing, well, let's say God's willing to make exceptions for bad motherfuckers. That's right, demons, your game is through. You'd better pray to all that this unholy Father John doesn't find you, because when he does, you'll be puking pea soup out a new hole in your head. Rated E for extreme violence. Oh, hang on, sorry, I got my scripts mixed.
There you got switches on a Beretta. Or is that 1911? I'm not so sure.
Stuff. Martin. The preceding segment was actually about the latest video on my Triple Tap channel, The Exorcist Parabellum. That's right. If you're tired of boring exorcism movies without head explosions and guns, then what the are you waiting for? Links in the description. Where was I? Oh, yeah. The lame regular priest, who also has never performed an exorcism, is back to shout at the girls and touch them on the forehead. Let's see how that works out. Yeah, probably should have taken his own advice about not getting too close. Seemingly out of options, Victor breaks down and tosses his late wife's scarf around Angela's neck, imploring her to resist the demon, not on behalf of God, but on behalf of his love for her. And wouldn't you know it, this actually seems to have some kind of effect. The girl's vital signs went perfectly.
I don't know about Victor. Hey, I'm not getting close to that shit, man. I know that little bitch's breath smell crazy, bro. It smell hot. It's hot as fuck, and it smell like crazy, nigga. You see the teeth and the black shit spilling from her mouth, bro. That shit smells crazy, fam. I ain't get close to that shit. They got me fucked up, bro.
Synchronized now appear to be different, and a piece of Angela's personality begins to emerge. Hey, you know what? Awesome. What I want to know is, why in the aren't Tony and Miranda taking the exact same approach with their daughter right now? Like, I get you have the other two kids, but still, you might need a babysitter at some point. I don't know. Ultimately, this failure to act on their part causes the still possessed Catherine to call out for help, to which Tony responds with a knee-jerk reaction of proclaiming his choice to save her over Angela, with some rather interesting results. Guess I was wrong about that whole double cross thing. Except not really, because it turns out that this was just one final fake out meant to subvert our expectations. And boy, were my expectations subverted. You see, while it might look like Angela's dead as hell, she's actually totally fine. Whereas Catherine's only seconds away from ensuring her father never wins another argument for the rest of his life. Man, who could have seen that coming? Clearly no one in this room, as only now do they think to get an ambulance on the way. Meanwhile, Nurse Ann demonstrates a frightening lack of medical knowledge by shocking a flatline with a defibrillator, instead of committing to CPR and administering shots of adrenaline. Seriously, with everyone here, you could have easily kept up a rotation long enough for the paramedics to arrive and pronounce her dead at the scene. In fact, delaying CPR to deliver shocks to a flatlined patient only worsens their already dismal chances of survival. Guess she probably should have been a nun after all. And with that, Angela is finally free from her possession and can go back to constantly reminding her father of his long dead wife. In the end, our heroes could only save one of the girls, and in doing so, lost one of the aspiring exorcists and saw another rendered permanently blind. However, had they taken a big step back once the girl's possession was confirmed and focused on getting help from actual exorcists who have performed actual exorcisms, I think that there's a good chance they.
Okay, man. In the end, some took L's, some took a dub, man. W vid, W Nut Explains. Like I said, y'all boys, check my dog out. W YouTuber on some real ass shit on everything. And on that note, remember ending so MTM we're gonna be ending soon on some real ass shit and get this shit out of my fucking Alright, let me get this shit out of my fucking too. Pause. But whatchamacallit though, these three we're watching later on tonight, so tight shit, you know. And yeah. Yeah, boys, if y'all like the video of any way, shape, or form, this is we're gonna definitely watch this some more. Whatchamacallit? If y'all like the vid, make sure to like and subscribe, you know. Be much appreciated type shit. And I'll catch y'all boys on the flippity. Okay. Low-key, a little corny, my fault. But I'll catch y'all boys though.